Good morning, students. This is Sheikh Hasib, your English teacher. Today, I am going to read a very beautiful poem for you, and the poem is Trees, that's written by Joyce Kilmer, an American writer and a poet who is famously remembered for this poem. Okay, let's begin the poem now. I think that I shall never see a poem lovely as a tree. The poem starts this poem simply by telling us that he will never see or create something as lovely as the tree. Then, in the next line, he tells us that the tree is alive because of the soil through which it is fed by Mother Nature. That's why he says, a tree whose hungry mouth is pressed against the earth's sweet flowing breast, a tree that looks at God all day and lifts her leafy arms to pray. In these lines, the poet has tried to explain that trees are looking at God throughout the day and that they lift their leafy arms, that is, branches, to pray God to God. Maybe the poet here has tried to tell us that if a tree is looking at God all day and praying to Him, then aren't we all creations of God? Then shouldn't we pray? A tree that may in summer wear a nest of robins in her hair. In this couplet, the poet says that tree during summer is a host for birds like robin to make their nest, which makes the tree look more beautiful. Here the poet adds the theme of seasons, that despite the seasonal changes, without any protection, the tree thrives and not only but acts as a shelter. Then again in the next couplet, the poet says, upon whose bosom snow has lain, who intimately lives with rain. The poet tells us that snow lays on the bosom of the tree and yet it remains unaffected. The tree and rain share an intimate relationship because rain is largely responsible for a tree surviving. In the next couplet, the poet says poems are made by fools like me, but only God can make a tree. In this last couplet, the poet does not resist calling himself a fool for writing a poem, knowing the fact that it can be nothing compared to the beauty of the tree. He describes that a mere human being can simply write a poem describing the beauty of tree, but it is just God, only God, who can make a tree. Thank you so much, my dear students. Hope you have understood this poem very